Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're learning about All the Light, a 4-year-old Latvian warm blood gelding who has just imported, and he is learning how to be an American show hunter. Werner enjoyed a few days off while I commuted back and forth to Upperville, Virginia to prep some horses for the Loudon Benefit Horse Show. Bordering the Shenandoah Valley, this venue is one of my all-time favorites, and this year was no exception. The weather was absolutely perfect, and although the days were long, because of my commute, I enjoyed competing in all of these extraordinary rings. Many people often put this venue on their bucket list of top places to compete for before you die, and I'm lucky to be able to compete here a lot. They also host Upperville, Middleborough Classic, and the Piedmont Jumper Classic. But I was anxious to get home to ride Werner and introduce the new exercise I had set up before I left. All was looking good on Saturday for his first ride back in a week. We flatted in the ring, then trotted the perimeter of the farm for an additional 15 to 20 minutes or so. Even survived a deer jumping out directly in front of our path and scaring the bejesus out of me, but Werner didn't even flinch. It cantered off into the corn, and we continued on our way like nothing ever happened. My plan was to ride, bathe, and later that same day take some glamour shots for Instagram, then take the video the following morning. I hadn't put anything up on social media at this point, partly because he needed to fill out in his body, and also I wanted to get to know him a little bit better. He stands perfectly for bathing, loves being groomed in general, and now understands about clipping the ears and trimming the bridle path. The first time, he was a little bewildered by the sound of the clippers, but by this second time, he stood quietly and let me work on removing the hair without any additional help. One of the reasons I trim the ears is because to avoid pulling out the finer hairs when I am removing earplugs, which can be quite painful. As an American horse, he will have to wear earplugs from now on, so I want to make him feel as comfortable as possible with them. It's also easier to keep gnats and bugs from laying eggs inside their ears, which must be super frustrating for them to endure. I do leave the whiskers alone, however, and make a point not to remove them until they reach the conformation division, although now I guess it's more widely acceptable to simply leave them alone. A lot of people have opinions about this subject, so I guess it just comes down to personal preference. I'm really impressed with how brave Werner is with all of this new treatment, because I've seen so many horses absolutely traumatized by people who don't have the time or patience to go slow and gain the trust of an animal. I do get it. Busy barns, busy stables are on a schedule, and there's so much work to be done during the day. But the horses who end up with abusive handlers hardly ever recover from the harsh experiences. If you can avoid traumatizing a young horse, you should. Take the time, even if it takes several tries, to gain their trust and understanding. I know not all horses are created equal, but many of them do come around and tolerate all that we throw at them. The Instagram photos turned out quite nice, so if you have a chance to go over and check them out, I have an account that's called Noble Stables and another account called Deloise in America, and I really appreciate if you gave them a couple of likes. And if you are enjoying this series on All the Light Becoming an American Show Hunter, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and be sure to tell your friends as well. I am really enjoying the process of being able to share all of this with you. Riding and developing young horses has always been my passion, and inspiring others to give it a try is very important to me. We can never have too many young horse developers in the States. I promise you the satisfaction of starting a horse to become either a professional horse or a junior amateur hunter is unparalleled in this industry. So I encourage you to learn more about it wherever you happen to be in your life or in your riding career. It doesn't matter. Give it a try. Ask professionals for advice. And maybe you can be the next young horse developer that we all need. So I'm a little disappointed. I took Werner out to the ring. I was prepping him to make another video of the gymnastic, and I had to wait for my mom to get back from church, so I was taking my time, but went to get on. He was so good about standing when I got on, and I was thrilled. I've really been looking forward to doing this exercise, and I trot a lap around the ring, and I think, oh, this doesn't feel quite right. I turn around to go the other way, and the more we went around the lap of the ring at the trot, the lamer he got. So I got off immediately to check and see if we had stepped on a nail or something. It was kind of came on so fast, but his feet were clean. There were no rocks, no nails, no disturbances in the hoof wall, but he was definitely lame. So I brought him back to the barn, put hoof testers on him. He was super reactive in the one corner of his hoof wall. So yeah, no gymnastic this week. It's part of having young horses. So the farrier is coming on Wednesday, and he'll take a look and see if there is any progress being made with the abscess, or even if he can get a shoe on. There's nothing I can do until he gets here and sort of analyzes how soft the hoof wall is, or if the abscess comes through. He probably will not put shoes on, which will delay a lot of our progress for yet another week or two. So fingers crossed we figure out what happens, but I can't stress about it, so I'm just gonna have to wait until Wednesday and see what he says. I hope you continue watching the series of Making a Show Hunter with Werner, who we also call All the Light. I'll see you in the next video.